Okay, so wanted to do a quick video on my experiences with the 21st SS. Just I think they're definitely the best, or I should say, most viable German division right now. Some might think the 12th SS is better, but I think this division currently is better because it has a much nicer income curve that's able to deal with um, other divisions a little easier. Also, the fact that you get a Phase A fighter, which all the other divisions don't really get. I mean, the Luftwaffe get the Luftland gets the Me-109 rocket plane, but that's not a fighter. Let's be real. And they don't have any AA to back it up. So anyway, this was a mirror match. I want to watch it from what I believe is my perspective. I think red is axis number 2. I played this one through quick match, that feature that apparently no one uses. It's weird. This is my second game after not playing for like 2 weeks, and I wanted to try and learn the 21st SS because they looked kind of cool, and I heard French was overpowered. So I figured this deck would be cool to learn. So I kind of started out with this deck knowing that you don't really have lots of infantry in Phase A, so you really have to use light vehicles, armor, and recon units in order to do anything. So that's what I kind of built my deck around. And I also planned on using these Befehlen Panzer 35Ss, the So 35 captured ones that are apparently command tanks in this game, as my primary command unit for Phase A. The idea being, please don't lose these units, and everything should work out. And of course, the Vet 2 222 armored car for autocannon shenanigans across the map. This is actually one of my first versions of this deck, and I believe that I also had the 231 perhaps in this deck. I might have sent it down this road at the start, but or 221 I should say, but we'll see exactly how I played this. So I used 2 cards of the Phelan Panzer 35s in this version of the deck. I updated it later after realizing I needed more armor. But this is a particularly interesting game. To show you guys what the other guy spawned with, he spawned with a death ball of German half-tracks, supported by a commander, a 233, and a Panzer 4C. I'm not sure why it was a Panzer 4C. I think this could have been much better accomplished with a recon half-track or a recon armored car. But this is what he chose, and some light support on the side, a 221 and a 250/9. On the other side, another 221 squad of Panzer Grenadiers, an infantry commander, which I think is interesting, an interesting choice with the 21st, and another Panzer Grenadier. Nice thing is you can see where these guys are going. Just look at this nonsense. That's a death ball of armor. He has an idea of exactly what he wants to do. He's trying to make this deck play like the French, which may or may not work out for him. And then what I'm doing, pretty straightforward, I guess. A little recon to the side, a little stuff in the middle, a couple of Panzer Grenadiers on a 222 right here. Same thing on this side over here, but with a Befehlen Panzer. So we'll just speed it up a little bit. It's kind of a quick game. This is a really fun game. You'll see why rather quickly. So again, just everybody's coming around. The death ball of German half-tracks walks down the middle of the road, and all's a good time, right? Yeah, when all these guys just die. But magically, and this is just dumb luck, I killed the commander. Um, uh, Fortunately, of course, I get stunned and panicked because that's a lot of 20 millimeters firing at me. I bring my 222 over from here so I can do some flanking shots. It worked. Apparently, there's a Panzer IV here that I didn't know about, and I killed it. That's a great trade. A 35-point unit for an 80-point unit. Perfect little trade. On the right-hand side, I had pushed back his initial push, pushed back to here, which was working very well. When I saw he committed a lot here, I said, okay, let me push over here. And he responded in turn with more not 222s, 250/9s, a SOMU, and some more infantry. As well as maneuvering his 250s over to this side, which was a really smart move. He didn't need to have them all here. And he maneuvered some of them back over here to put the herd on and try and flank my forward units here. Meanwhile, I decided I was going to purchase one of these Wonder Wagon Pack 36 or Pack 40 half tracks, which I think is kind of an interesting unit, but it's difficult to play with. I don't know. I don't like it very much. It doesn't really suit my playstyle, but I'm sure it suits others. So I ended up getting cut off here. Unfortunately, a lot of these units die. My Pack 40 killed one of his 250s. I think this was the 250 that drove along this road at the start. And I also brought out a 233. This is an incredibly useful little armored car. It's like having a Panzer IV on an armored car. So, as I was talking about that, a lot of things were going on over here. I lost, not really much, but I got this Phelan Panzer backed into a corner. My 222 ended up dying, and I kind of was a little screwed. This is what's going on from what I can see on the map right now. I have no idea what's going on over here, even though I have this spot troop up here that has, it has some vision. It probably would have been better off here. Yeah, it probably would have been better off there or pushed up a little bit, but I wasn't doing that at the time. This guy just pushing forward the front line. This guy also just kind of pushing forward the front line. And in the middle, I had no idea what's going on, but I had this Recon Alpha Flower that's kind of giving me an idea that there's nothing right here, which is really useful. And still having a random Panzer Grenadier here, just casually a Panzer Grenadier in the middle of the map, that's really useful too. At this point, he also had a +2, still creeping up on me. He had a lot of points in the bank, but I decided I was going to bring out Panzer IVCs. I think this might have been just a random spam buy. I was like, I think I need some armor, but I can't buy any more S35s, or 35Ss, I should say, because I only took 2 of the Phelan Panzers, and this is one of the things I rectified in my later decks. That I would need at least 1 card of the regular S35s. So to continue the game, these Panzer IVCs started doing some incredibly good work. They're more than enough for dealing with these little half-tracks, and you have 2 of them, so you can also kind of fight off armor. It's not the best at fighting off armor, of course, but against light tanks, 2 of them will panic one of these units. So I also was trying to keep my Panzer IV behind cover, dodging in and out until I was ready to try and take on the 35S. So what happened was his 35S decided he was going to engage my 35S, and in doing so, he got himself stunned, and coincidentally his tracks broke. By getting him stunned, and also by moving myself a little bit behind this building, I was able to keep away from his AT gun, but still put some hurt onto the units back there. And his 35S was continuously stunned, which was very useful. Unfortunately, the Pack 38, wasn't able to kill my Panzer IV-C. It had a lot of opportunity to do it, but RNG just saved my Panzer IV-C here, really. I think it had 3 shots, although it was suppressed a considerable amount. So while that was going on over here, which I thought was really important, killing off his initial starting units, making sure that I kind of had a little bit of momentum here, just making his life a little miserable. He was blobbing a little bit here, and when you blob a little bit in one spot, what happens is usually you neglect the other half of the map. So that's kind of what ended up happening. He started to not pay attention here, and to not pay attention here. And I start to make up for that by pushing up a couple of these 250/9s into this area. And I don't think I had any movement orders on any of these guys yet. And this guy I was bringing up here so that I could push out this little bulge here and equalize the +1. And I brought up another 250/9. I don't remember why, maybe just as fire support. Phase B is also about to hit in a minute 30 seconds, and I kind of built my 21st deck around Phase B, because I think 21st is a Phase B deck. I think it's Phase A, while good, is just there to even out the map and allow you to begin to steamroll in Phase B with your increased income. Again, a little bit of playing here, but what's mostly going on is going to start poking and prodding this middle area. Yeah, not much still here, but poking and prodding here. He still was bringing in units into this section area, which wasn't helping him while I was being the push here. This little thing was weird. My 223 was up here. That was just weird. But now this Panzer Grenadier that was sitting here, as well as this Aufklärer that was sitting over here, is able to come back into the middle and provide good recon, as well as fire support from an area that he wasn't expecting a unit to exist. Like, this Panzer Grenadier wasn't supposed to be there. He shouldn't have known it was there at all. And then this is a nice little play against this Pack 38 coming up next. So we work on killing this little Pack 36 half track, and then I know, thanks to... No, I don't actually know thanks to recon. Now I know thanks to recon because I brought up the Aufklärer. I know now that there is the Pack 38 sitting here, and I engage it with both 259s and the 233. That's more than enough to just make sure it doesn't want to do anything. And I continue pushing up here. Now it's, again, Phase B, and I'm pretty sure I just brought up a Panzer IV-G. Now, some people think this unit is pretty bad, because of a combination of its accuracy, or just Panzer IVs in general, because of a combination of accuracy and range. But I think that Panzer IVs are in a reasonably good spot. The only problem being that in close quarters, a Sherman chances are a Sherman will wreck its face in close quarters simply because of its reduced aim time, thanks to its gyroscope or gyro stabilizer for its first shot. Yeah, so bring up some Pioneers. Everything's good. Life's all fancy dandy. He killed a bunch of my half tracks, and as well as my Pack 40 half track. That was a really unfortunate loss for me. But I still have my 233 over here, providing fire support against assorted dudes. I think he was killing these guys at this point. The greatest thing about the 233 is that it is a recon unit, so you can have fun with it. On the right hand side, we get to shortly watch the Panzer IV at its finest. Um, I use this bush as a piece of cover. My 232 goes to hide behind the bush, and I don't want to move it. It's going to sit there, life standy. And suddenly, we get to see the Panzer IV-G do amazing things to armor over there. First, I lose a couple guys, bite to Sherman, does some work over there. And again, back over here. It's about that time that my Panzer IV-G is going to make mincemeat of these little vehicles here in like one shot each time, because that 3 is a little ridiculous. Although I think I was killing that one first. On this side, I already killed one of the Shermans with my Befehlen Panzer IV-H, and that had some great effect on this area, forcing him to bring this Sherman into the fight. I think I lose this 232 right here, or 233, because it does something really dumb. But this Panzer IV-H at range against a Sherman is just peachy. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, it works. Now he's really suppressed, and there's such little chance that he's going to do anything that he falls back. On the right again, I brought this Panzer IV-G in, moving these light vehicles, and now I'm dancing a little bit with this Pak 38. So I get the Pak 38 to fire on my Panzer IV-G once, after I had already fired at it, and then I bring in the 232 to finish the job with its autocannon, and that makes really short work of it. This Sherman here should be taken care of quite quickly by the Panzer IV-G, mostly because of, well, Vet 3. Because Vet 3 is, well, quite ridiculous. Again, on the left, this Sherman dies due to another Panzer IV-H. Nothing really special. Obviously, these aren't veteran Shermans, which makes a significant difference in terms of accuracy. This Sherman just kind of vaporizes as well. Not much to say about it. Like, I got the second shot off before he got his second shot off. Vet 3 is ridiculous. I highly suggest people try the Panzer IV-G in your Phase B. I mean, you get 4 tank slots really worth of vehicles in Phase B, and it's really good. So at this point, I also remembered the air existed, but the game was pretty much over. I had broken through what little he still had in the middle because he was focusing on the flanks with a few half-tracks and some light vehicles. Like, this 250/9 was out of ammunition. It did so much good things for me. And at this point, he had pretty much decided it was over. Yeah. There's not much more he could do at this point. Sure, it's 2 minutes till Phase C, but I had a +2, a lot of map advantage, and I think most importantly, I had a lot more units on the map at this point. Especially higher value units such as Panzer IV-H's, just having all these Panzers around, as well as having some kind of plane in the air. He brings his first Panzer IV-H up, but it doesn't even arrive to the field by the time it's necessary. Not necessary, needed. Which is unfortunate for him, but it is what it is. This recon unit gets to spot our Aufklauer right here. Just give it a half a second. And Aufklauer is dead. The game is over. I'm surprised he surrendered as soon as he did. Just to give you an idea, he had something like 1,400 points. Or maybe it was 1,100 points. Yeah, 1,100 points. 900 points above me, but I think he understood that once Phase B hit, um, I think the kills losses was dramatically more in my favor. So look at the history. Phase A, I think he did considerable amount of work, um, even though it looked like I started taking control by the end of Phase A, removing his initial pushes and dealing with Panzer 35, and so forth. That was happening on that right-hand side of the map for me. And then the rest of the game, I mean, Phase B just snowballed for me. Look at this. The last 2.5 minutes of the game, it was a real snowball. Kill, 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 kill. Look, 2 more Shermans, 4 Shermans. Yeah, I killed all 4 of his Shermans. I think that's why he started bringing up that Panzer 4H now that I look at it. I'd killed all 4 of his 1 card of Shermans. And that must have really irked him. Just especially these Panzer 4Gs. Like 1, 2. I mean, the Panzer 4G is perfectly fine. It's 130 points, 14 AP, 6 frontal armor. 6 frontal armor obviously sucks. But when you're dealing with things like M4A1s, that's not that much of a big deal because they only have 10 AP at max range. That means they have something like a 41% penetration chance. But you have a better accuracy because you have higher veterancy. In general, we're not talking about the French. The French are ridiculous. So let's just look down the losses for him, or his kills to be specific. His 250/9s, that was very good. That initial spearhead push that he did was very strong. I just think maybe he could have followed it up slightly better. Instead of trying to mass up in a slightly enclosed area, because there was the right-hand side of the map where he brought all of his 250/9s to try and remove some of my units over there, he could have pushed forward further with those 250/9s closer to my reinforcement point, which would have really put the hurt on, in my opinion. His 1 Panzer 4C killed 2 Panzer 4Cs. I did not notice that. I think it was the Pak 38, though, that did most of the work, and the Panzer 4Cs just happened to penetrate. Now let's look at the losses for him. My pack gun did some stuff, but not anything impressive. My Befehlen Panzer 35s, the first one just fell apart. I mean, it did something really important, which was remove the command 223 that he was using to support his 250/9s. But that was pure luck, pure dumb luck. That was what it shot at when it was fast moving at the start of the map. I think I might have got 2 shots off on it and killed it, and that was it. And then the Panzer 4Cs that I brought in to stabilize my right flank were what really, I think, started to turn things around for me. They just kept some pressure there that forced him to react to it. And because if he didn't react to it, I could have just kept steamrolling down that side with Panzer 4Cs, with recon in front of it, watching out for bazooka squads and so on. Yeah. On the left-hand side of the map, my 233 was able to push back the bulge that he had created for himself in my front line, and that was very useful in allowing me to make sure that I didn't bleed too many points in Phase A, and allow me to cruise into Phase B with the possibility of coming back. Some other units were great. Panzer 4H that I brought into the middle. By middle, I mean the main road on the left-hand side of the map, closest to the beach. Well, it killed something like 600 points worth of units. Actually, no, that's not 600 points. 500 points, maybe. And it was very effective. It was a little rock there that he couldn't really remove. Whether that was because he had run out of anti-tank units, AT guns, maybe he didn't have any higher end AT in his deck, which probably would have been a mistake, but you know, it's what it is. I was able to remove Boita Shermans at range. These Shermans are not very good at range. I don't think a Sherman, no Sherman should engage a Panzer IV at range, except for a 76, or a Jumbo, because a Jumbo is a little ridiculous. And the Panzer IV that was on the right, did some things, made short work of some units, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think this game really showed some of the niceties of the Panzer IVs and the 21st in general. Obviously, the Panzer IV isn't going to be amazing against M10s, but against U.S. line tanks, so the Sherman or British line tanks, your base Churchill, for instance, the Churchill 6 or Churchill 4, one of those two. They're both reasonable, and you can actually fight them. They're very useful against, and they're efficiently costed to be able to deal with them. They have 3 machine guns, so they can defend themselves against infantry and provide close-in infantry fire support. And there's no reason, in my opinion, that a Panzer IV or that a Panzer IV should be anywhere within 250 meters of Sherman, just because you should have some kind of infantry there. And at that range, the Sherman's going to kill your Panzer IV with almost certainty. If it misses, though, your Panzer IV will kill the Sherman. Again, with almost certainty. It's one of those weird things. But that's why you have Panzer Grenadiers in front of your units and random Panzerfaust, Panzer Shrek, or Bazooka teams if you're the Allies / Piets. Well, Piets are terrible, but we'll talk about the Piets. Anyway, I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. And I'm going to probably post some more of these. Going through some of my replay logs. Maybe I'll do some deck things or kicks, but I primarily stream. This is just kind of something I'm doing in between classes now, because I have 3 hours in between classes, and who does their homework in between their classes? I'm just kidding. Anyway, thank you very much. Take care.